Hey guys, it's Kimberly and I wanted to come on and just jumping on and doing a video tutorial on my phone. Going to share it to you guys at a later date because this is not normally the time I go live. This is Wednesday afternoon, working on this buffet, part of the series that we've been working on in the workshops. So I am going to show you what we mean by scuff sanding. So I have this piece, as you can see, it's very well varnished, and let me see if I can point you down here. So you can see here how it is well varnished. I have already cleaned this with the White Lightning cleaner, and now I'm coming in and I'm scuff sanding it. Why am I scuff sanding? I'm scuff sanding so that my paint has something to adhere to. So even though I cleaned it with the White Lightning cleaner, sometimes there's a need to scuff sand. So with this as well, I'm also going to put the boss on it just like I did the other pieces. And I'm not sure that we always touch on scuff sanding, what that means and how we do that. So yeah, never mind my mess here. I think I got the tripod on wrong, but I just wanted to come. You can see the pieces in the back. Never mind the mess. I just wanted to come on and show you guys a little bit of what I mean about scuff sanding. Now, I'm not going to do that on the top because it's a polyacrylic on the top. I may sand that down lightly and re-varnish it, or put our gator hide on it, which is a polyacrylic, same difference. I am using this, I believe is 220 3M sandpaper, and I'm just using my hand. So no more than that, but what that does is it gets down into the substrate a little bit so that your products have something to adhere to. So if I was to just leave this in the varnish, it's a good possibility your paint may not stick to it because you didn't scuff sand it, you just cleaned it and you just commenced to painting it, and you could take your fingernail and scratch it off. So to avoid those issues, I am scuff sanding this piece. So let me take you, let's see if I can take you around. You can also see that this board, this is the top part of the back side of this. So this I'm also gonna scuff sand. See how shiny it looks on here? I don't necessarily need to put slick stick on it as long as I knock down that shine. That's what we mean by knock down your shine. Now I did clean it with the White Lightning cleaner first so that I knew that I wasn't scuff sanding any wax into this board. I don't want any wax between my product and my piece, and so you can do the little finger scratch and see if anything comes up. The only thing that's ever been on this is a little bit of pledge, dusting wax, dusting products like that. And so I cleaned that off with our White Lightning cleaner. Now I'm going to show you how I scuff sand and get it ready for the boss, because I am going to boss this because there's a good possibility with oak, certain woods, they can bleed through on you. And since I'm not using the silk on this particular project and that I am using our chalk mineral line, I do want to make certain that I have a bleed blocker on here. So that's a problem solver. I just do it. I'd rather take the step now than have to strip all my paint off and take the step later. So just be perseverant. Take your time, do the steps correctly, especially if this was your vintage buffet and you're going to put it in your farmhouse. You want to do the steps. Just take your time, clean it really well, scuff sand it, boss it, and then start to paint. You'll be so much happier with your product at the end. So we definitely want to go ahead and scuff sand this. So I'm going to do that on this little video, and like I said, I'll share it. If you guys don't know, we have a YouTube channel out there. You can jump on our YouTube channel. It's The Vintage Queen. Jump out there. You can find all these live tutorials on that, and you can reach out to me through any projects you are working on, and I'll be more than happy to guide you, help you any way I can. And for those of you that are good at already painting, I'm sure this video probably bores you and it's not up your speed, but for a lot of the newbies out there, they have never probably seen this side of the steps. So hopefully we won't bore you, but we do want to show those steps because not everybody already knows. Some people are doing this for the first time. So be patient with me while I try to show this to some of the newbies so that they can feel confident to get the products and the look that they want. and feel confident with what they're doing. So I'm gonna put my mask back over because I don't know what I'm sanding off here. I don't wanna breathe it. So put my mask up, and I'm gonna sand this a little bit and show you guys what I mean. So pardon for the noise. So I'm just gonna do it by hand, and I am just gonna take my 220, and you can kind of see, you can watch it knock down the shine. So that's all I need to do is what we call scuff sanding. Scuff sanding does not mean that you got to go down to the bare wood. It just means that you need to knock that shine down and give your paint something to adhere to. So I just got to thinking while I was working on this piece. This is probably a video that needs to be out there so that some of you guys can see what we mean by scuff sanding your piece. And by all means, this is not a brand new piece. It's been around the block, and I'm okay with that. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm trying to see if I can sit on this and kind of, there we go. Kind of get it so you guys can see what I'm doing. So yeah, you want to put a little elbow grease into it. Get it scuff sanded. You're not going to get it all perfect, but we will see to it that we can kind of get that dulled down. So you see how it's dulling? And like I said, never mind the mess here. Got my big old puffy jacket on. Just, it's a little cool out, but not too bad, you know. We're working in the workshop. We make it happen. So here I'm just scuff sanding the top layer of this varnish down, because this is a varnish on here. And most likely it's a polyacrylic varnish. And I'm needing to take that down. Let me see if I can turn this around so y'all can kind of still see what I'm doing. So I'm going to do the same on this end. 220 grit. Now when I get done, like when I get done with this and I get it sanded, you can see how I've sanded it. I'm not sanding it down to the bare wood or taking the polyacrylic plum off, but I am sanding it to the point I have something for my product to adhere to. So when you're done and you get it sanded like this, you do want to come back in with just a clean cloth and a damp cloth and take this dust off, obviously, before you put your boss on, because that dust is going to be a barrier between your products. So you don't want that either. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and set it up here, sort of out of the way. And again, pardon for the big old puffy jacket and everything not being perfect, but this was a video just kind of on the fly here so that you guys can kind of see. I'm going to bring it all the way over while I crawl around on my knees. So see how varnished that piece is right there, that door. So I want that, even you can see the shines kind of knocked down a little bit. Now that's because I used the White Lightning cleaner on it, and it did take a little bit of that down, but just to be on the safe side for myself, because this is a project I've been working on for a long time, I really would like to sand it down a little bit more, expose a little bit more of that substrate so that my products have something to adhere to. So when I get done, I will come along here. I'll lightly use a damp cloth, clean off all of this. I'm not really worried about any scuff marks or, let's say, sanding lines, because this is 220. It's really, really mild. I'm going to wipe it down, and I'm using the chalk mineral line on this particular piece, so you guys know it's self-leveling. It's going to take care of any kind of little fine imperfections, if you will, on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and scuff sand this as well so you guys can see. Obviously, you can see the difference here, and I wanted to make sure that I did come and show you guys that this is a step that we might not always see on these videos, but it's an important one when you have a shiny surface. Again, I'm not messing with the top. I want the top in the natural, or in my case, I always call it in the raw. In the raw means unpainted, in my opinion. And so I'm just going to go ahead and scuff sand this, and be sure to share this little video out there to you guys. It will be out on our YouTube channel so that you guys can see that particular step, that it may not be always seen in my 101 because we're kind of moving along in the steps, and most of the time painting and cleaning and painting, and we're not seeing this particular step, but it is a step in between on certain pieces. So let me get back at it. I'm gonna cover my nose here. And again, most of the time I do try to stay, my fingers are still just as sore as can be. Try to stay going with the direction of the grain, if you will. If I was using an 80 grit, I would be even more concerned about that, but since I'm not, I'm really not concerned about it as much. I do try to pay special attention to around the knobs where people are putting their fingers. That's a spot that you might want to give a little more attention to, kind of not skip over, because that is where people just always grab, you know, they're always putting their hands in here and doing this number. So that's going to get a lot of usage. So that spot is a spot that you want to make certain that you got around pretty good. That way your paint really sticks to that location, because this location is going to take a lot more wear than, say, right here, where it's never going to take anywhere because we're not going to be grabbing this. But I am going to try to get in here, and again with the sore fingers, hence why I don't have any fingernails, and just kind of work my sandpaper in these grooves and kind of gonna give your product just a little bit more to adhere to, because you've roughed up the substrate of this material. And I'm just going to keep on. Obviously, I have a big hutch here to do. I'm going to do that to the legs. I'm going to do it to the underbody here. As you can see, there's all this underbody that needs to be sanded as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that's what we mean when we say to get your products clean with your White Lightning cleaner. You know, that's our powder cleaner. Clean it really well. After you get that done, if it is a real shiny piece, you can use the slick stick on it. But in my case, it's just you be painting over it, and I don't really need the slick stick if I do this step. And if this was a super glossy piece, like on the top, or even glossier, really I use a slick stick for glass, laminates, those kind of things. Not necessarily a wood project. It's not always necessary. And then once I clean this down, I can put my boss on it, let my boss dry up. And I lightly sand my boss even, just to kind of give it even a smoother texture, so that when my paint goes on, it goes on super smooth. So I hope this little video tutorial helps you guys in some way, in case we've missed that. I just wanted to put that out there so that you really have amazing results with our paint products. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for viewing this video. We will see you in our lives. Bye for now.